currently working with Aussizz Group in Clayton. As Abhi mentioned, that we are going to understand the criteria and the definition of how it's gonna work with the de facto relationship. Moreover, if you guys have any questions in regards to when it comes to de facto or even any other visa, you can leave a comment. We can see already people have started commenting. We'll be coming to the comments slowly. So yes, Abhi, talking about de facto, we've seen that in past, old times, people used to only get married. Now, as the world has become modern and people have started living in a relationship, immigration and moreover family laws have tried to bend laws, and this de facto relationship does exist now. Moreover, de facto relationship is basically focusing on if you are in a relationship with the same sex or a different sex person. Right. Moreover, I would also like to add that when it comes to de facto relationship, you must show a mutual commitment with the person in regards to you are living as a shared life rather than an individual life. The relationship between you both must be genuine and continuing, and you must not be living separately. You must be living together. So these are a couple of things. The most important thing is people might be thinking about de facto. It's okay. How are we going to prove de facto? So if you are living with your partner for a minimum of 12 months, you can show de facto partner relationship.
Okay, Mr. Singh, we have heard about 4 pillars of the relationship when it comes to providing documents to the Department of Home Affairs. So what is these 4 pillars of relationship that the department is looking to?
Yes, Abhi, when it comes to assessing, especially when we are talking, the visa applications like partner visas, onshore or offshore, prospective marriage visas, all those kind of applications require sort of a criteria where the delegate or minister, means the case officer, will be looking at the situations that how are we gonna show that you are in a de facto relationship. So the 4 pillars means they are looking at a requirement. The 4 pillars can be defined as something like a financial aspect, the nature of the household, whether you are socially committed to each other, so social aspect of the relationship, and moreover, how is the nature of the person and the other partner, whether they are committed to each other for a longer term. So these are the major 4 pillars when we are talking about a relationship between 2 people.
Okay, so if 2 partners are living together and they've not registered the relationship with the state authority and they're not married, so what sort of documents would you recommend to provide, like necessary documents the department will request?
Coming to that question, Abhi, that is a very good question, actually, because you will see a lot of people are living together at the moment. They are living, they might be living for 2 months or they might be living for 12 months. When we are considering satisfying the de facto relationship definition, the candidate must understand that if you are not living with your partner for 12 months, you must register your relationship. So first of all, your document which is required from the candidate to show that if you are not living with your partner for 12 months under the same roof, you must provide us with a relationship registration certificate. Okay, so you must basically register your relation, that it's a legal document which we can further utilize. Moreover, just registering your relationship is not good enough. Furthermore, we can show like a joint bank accounts. Okay, now most of the people, when they're living in a relationship or whether they're in a de facto relationship, we have seen they are still not comfortable with showing or getting into that kind of arrangement when it comes to joint bank accounts. It's okay, you can show the department with individual bank accounts, which will have the same address. Moreover, when it comes to the second pillar, the nature of household is the department is judging and watching that, okay, how basically you guys are managing the household activities. So who's doing what sort of duties when it comes to household. So do you have any kind of a living arrangement? So for example, I might be paying for the rent, and my partner might be paying for the car radios, and she might be paying for the utility bills. Okay, so department is looking at that situation. The third pillar, which is the social aspects, the department is looking that whether the candidate basically is the candidate declared to socially that you guys are in a de facto relationship. Okay, so for example, we've seen in past some people don't like to share things socially. So again, it's a questionable thing that okay, you are in a relationship with someone, why you do not want to tell people that you are in a relationship with someone. So is it something stopping you, or is it sometimes people are previously married and they do all these type of things. So department to be sure, they check these kind of requirements, that whether socially you have announced that you are in a relationship. How they're going to check is like they are looking at your Facebook status, they are looking at your Instagram and all those social platforms. Moreover, they are also looking at if you have attended any kind of ceremonies. Okay, when it comes to even if you are going to foodie or all other sort of social activities both people are doing, even gym. So have you declared that you are a de facto partner over there? All those kind of things department is looking at. The fourth pillar when it comes to is the nature of person commitment to each other. So when we are considering commitment is more or less, you can consider a document like a superannuation beneficiary. So let's take an example. If some for some reason a person pass away, who's gonna get that money? Who's gonna get that property? Is there any kind of that arrangement the couple has made to satisfy that they are committed to each other while they are living, and even if one of the partner dies away, who's gonna get that kind of money or the assets which have been left behind. So again, four pillars are very important, Abhi, when it comes to understanding that how we're going to satisfy the de facto partner relationship. Just producing the certificate itself, in some of the visa it's fine. When it comes to 485 subsequent entrant, or when it comes to student subsequent entrant. But when it comes to partner visas, people should understand that just providing the certificate by the assessing authorities is not a good enough. So
Right.
we must make sure that proper documentation has been submitted.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Singh. That was really good information related to the four pillars of relationship in de facto relationship. We've got a question here from Guri. The question is that I am married in India and I have applied for divorce with my previous partner, and there's the divorce outcome is not finalized yet. It's still in the awaiting period. And Guri is currently in a relationship with someone in Australia. Now, can she apply for partner visa and can she register her relationship with the state authority?
Okay, Abhi, now what is happening is, when it comes to people who have been married overseas, okay, now in overseas, a lot of countries have got their own cultures, and there's their constitution, how they work and operate over there. But when it comes to Australian law, again, with Australian law, you can't go into polygamous sort of marriage. You have to be a monogamous, or you can only marry one person at one time. Looking at Guri's question, she has mentioned that she is married already in India, but uh, she is in a relationship with someone else in Australia. Can she register the relationship? No, the answer is no, because she is still, in a relationship with someone. Uh, Again, we understand that the divorce is in process, but if the divorce is not finalized, your status still shows, you're married, and again, you can be permanently separated. But if it is still in process, okay, it's very hard to satisfy the department when it comes to the assessing authorities who will provide you the relationship certificate that you are divorced. Moreover, again, according to the family law, you cannot register a relationship, okay, if you are already married. Okay, so in that case, Guri cannot provide a relationship registration certificate. But the question here is, let's take an example. Say in Guri's case, if she has been living here with someone from last 2 years or 12 months or even 5 months, and that time period, the divorce gets finalized and she gets the outcome, the department do consider that 5 months as well.
Right.
So you can't say that Guri's relationship de facto starts the day when she has entered into the arrangement for the certification. No, it's basically department will consider even when she was married, and she was in de facto relationship with someone else. Department will consider that as long as the divorce gets finalized and she has got all those documentations which are meeting the 4 pillars. The another example I would give you is according to Hindu Marriage Act in India, there are some sort of arrangement done with the 2 parties. I've seen that in our home countries that 2 societies will get together and they will arrange a divorce. So statutory declarations, which we call affidavits back home, are given from both the parties that they are happy with divorce. Okay, but the people need to understand, even if the Hindu Marriage Act gives you that power, the divorce certificate itself has to be issued by the court. So if the court does not agrees with the statutory declarations provided by the applicant, defendant and the applicant, then it becomes a very, a conflict that, okay, you are still in a relationship. It doesn't mean, okay, 2 people get up and they say, okay, I'm not married now, or my girl is not married to that boy. It doesn't work like that. It has to be a legal document which proves that you have got separated now. So the decree, they call it in overseas. So you must obtain that document first before you are proceeding further to grab the document relationship registration, or furthermore, you are looking for a de facto relationship certificate.
Right. Thank you, Kamaljeet, for answering Guri's question. So Guri must wait for the divorce outcome, and then she can register her relationship, and then process for the partner visa application. So we got another question here from Mr. Venkatesh. It's a really interesting question. It says, I was stuck in India due to the pandemic. I have recently arrived in Australia and I am living with my partner at the moment. Can I lodge a partner visa based on the de facto relationship, as I was living with my partners for 2 years before the pandemic?
No, that's a, see again, Abhi, the question is interesting because you can see the candidate was in a relationship previously with an Australian person, Australian citizen or permanent resident. But during this pandemic, he or she got stuck, back home. And now when they have came back again, they are still in a relationship. So again, what department goes through is, I do understand, I previously mentioned that you must not be living separately on permanent basis. But if in that situation, we can see, Abhi, that the candidate had no control of, due to pandemic, they were not in a relation, they were not living together. But moreover, if Venkatesh can show for the documentation, like, if there was any money transaction going on in between each other, like now the things come back to 4 pillars. If there was, say, for example, if they were having a lease agreement, a mutual lease agreement, if they were, they had declared the relationship as a de facto. So if Venkatesh can sort of produce all those documentations to the department, that even when I was in India, I was talking to my partner. There were like financial transactions going on. You can produce like chat history, your call history. We can produce relationship statements. The question here rises is the continuity of the relationship. Okay, now you can't say that I never chatted for my partner for 2 years. Okay, and now suddenly you come back here. I can understand he might be a Tom Cruise, that that's why the girl has fallen back in love with him again, but it doesn't makes that kind of a relationship as a genuine relationship.
Right.
Okay, because when a genuinity is there, we should understand that that the candidate must be in a continuing sort of relationship. Even if it's not in continuing, say for example, you are offshore for some reason, like in his case due to pandemic, what are you still interacting with each other? Our families interacting with each other. So a relationship is not about 2 people, it's more about 2 families. And if he is able to satisfy that kind of scenario, I'll probably say it shouldn't be an issue for him to proceed further with partner visa.
Okay, we've got another question from Mr. Balaji. He says, I got married in February 2022. I spent only 2 weeks in India with my partner, and he had to come back to Melbourne for work commitments. What documents I can provide to prove a genuine relationship as a cohabitation?
Okay, thanks for the question, Balaji. Okay, let's go a little bit back. Okay, in your case, Balaji, the question starts, I got married in February 2022, but your case starts before that.
Yeah.
Okay. When did you met your partner? Okay. How did you met your partner? What was the location? In some cases, what happens is, Abhi, the parents might have done the arranged marriage sort of situation. I'm considering if there is an arranged marriage. I'm not sure whether if you can comment Balaji's love marriage or arranged marriage, that'd be great. Let's take an example. It's an arranged marriage, and due to pandemic, he was not able to travel overseas, and now the pandemic has gone, but now he wants to travel overseas. But the question rises there is, before February 2022, if he was seeing this girl, they were chatting continuously. If there was again financial transaction going on, okay, if he can show all those kind of documentations, okay, now he's been there for 2 weeks, okay, if he has opened any kind of joint bank account, okay, if he has gone into that kind of arrangement when it comes to socializing everything, okay. Now in some cases, Balaji, people might have only been overseas for 1 week. In your case, you are 2 weeks, yes. So what have you done in those 2 weeks is one thing. What were you doing before that is one thing. So you should gather all the documentation, your chat history, call history, your financial transactions, your statement from your friends, your family members. If you know Australian citizen, permanent resident who are aware of your situation, if they have attended the wedding. So all those documentations, you can provide along with your certification, with your visa application for your partner. So that will help. And then furthermore, ongoing continuity. Since you have come here, how you guys have managed to be in a relationship, how you guys have basically, been in a relationship when it comes to writing down relationship statements. Do you send any money to your partner? Do you do any video chat history? We can obtain your call history. So all those documents you can, show to the department.
Okay, that was great. So Balaji says that he was actually in relationship from May 2020. It was arranged by parents, but the marriage got delayed because of the pandemic. So he should provide documents from May 2020 onwards.
Yeah, that's right, Abhi. As I told you, the story started in May 2020. Now again, see, when the story started, Balaji, the question here is, okay, it was an arranged marriage. So was there any tradition sort of thing done? Assumingly, if you come from a Hindu background, they do a ritual. Basically, they will go and do some kind of, how would I say that, you book the person, like, okay, we're gonna marry a girl, or a boy to that particular person. So there will be some kind of arrangement. Now, your parents might have visited and saw the girl. You might have been part of that video chat. So all those documentations, when it comes to satisfying the department, Balaji has got a long story. Okay. Moreover, when it comes to emotions, so now when it comes to love, Abhi, there is no such definition in law which can explain love. Okay.
Correct.
So if Balaji can show us that affection and love in his relationship statement, the partner can show affection and love in his relationship statement, covering all these 4 pillars which I previously mentioned in the video. I think probably, in his case, it should be fine.
Okay. We've got another anonymous questions. It says, hi, I have applied for a partner visa applications. It's actually a same-sex relationship. So do you think the same-sex relationship has a longer processing time compared to the normal relationship?
Okay. Now, when it comes to same-sex relationship, Abhi, we should consider, furthermore facts as well. Okay, let's take an example. If it's a same-sex marriage application from India, or if it's a same-sex marriage application from any other Western country, okay, which comes from a different culture. So again, if that same-sex marriage comes from India, let's say, for example, okay, the department may have an issue. Not an issue, I should say. Department may have that kind of a concern. Okay, the culture is not that what he's claiming.
Right.
Okay, so when it comes to processing time periods, okay, again the case officer should be satisfied that, okay, I'm in same-sex marriage relationship. Okay, it's nothing to be ashamed of. Okay, everybody understand that situation. But again, are you able to meet those 4 pillars?
Correct.
Okay. When it comes to cultural background, okay, department might take a little bit more time, I should say that, when it comes to applications where the background doesn't matches that kind of situation. So I would not say it's sort of same sex or different sex person. I would say the cultural background department might start taking time, thinking, okay, these things doesn't happen often in this country. Has this person been in a genuine relationship?
Right.
Okay, so that's how it might affect, the situation for that particular candidate.
Okay. We've got another question from Mr. Aussizz. It says, I've applied for my 820 partner visa and it's been more than 20 months and he hasn't got any outcome for the application. So what are the chances that 820 will be granted soon, and can he be granted the permanent visa directly?
Okay, as Aussizz has mentioned, Abhi, that he has already made a well visa application for 820 for the partner. Okay, now let's consider that when we are lodging a partner visa, okay, someone comes here, they lodge the partner visa. Okay, is that it? Now, for most of the people, that's it. Okay, they lodge the visa application and they just sit down and then they disappear, like a blown wind. But the candidate must understand why department is taking that long. Okay, it's not that department is taking long, it's that the candidates should provide the department with ongoing continuity, relationship documents. So you should not just lodge the visa and go to sleep. It's more or less, try to keep them updated with 3 to 6 months. It shows a genuinity, it shows a continuity in it. It also shows that kind of affection that, okay, person, the sponsor or the applicant are interested in staying here together. Okay, and they are looking forward to be part of this community. Okay, so in Ashi's case, I'll probably say 20 months he's been here. His partner has got the visa application in process. If department takes further 4 months, I'll probably say they might end up giving him 801 straight away, because according to law, he has gone into that kind of that 2 years time period.
Correct.
Okay, so yeah, he will be getting possible 801. But the question again rises here is, don't just rely on those documents which were submitted at the time of application. You have to tell the department. I'm not only talking about partner visa, guys. Even if you have applied for other subsequent visas, just keep updating the department, because it's your visa applications. You should be responsible for that. Try to provide them as much as documents, so that when the delegates is, allocated, they are assessing your applications, your relationship statements are there, your 4 pillars are met. I don't think so there might be any question in his case.
Okay, so for Mr. Aussizz, if 24 months pass after the date of lodgement, he may be granted a permanent resident visa. And we do recommend providing documents every now and then to the Department of Home Affairs regarding your relationship. We've got another question from Mr. James. I lodged my partner visa application in 2018 and it got refused, and then the relationship stopped. And now I'm in a relationship with another person. Can I lodge a partner visa application for my new partner?
See, okay, in this situation, Abhi, we need to understand that the visa application, the previous visa application for 2018 was, refused on what basis? Okay, let's assume that relationship didn't existed. Okay, right. Or there was no love or affection left in the relationship. So how guaranteed you are that there's going to be love and affection in this relationship?
Right.
Okay, so this candidate must be aware that department will take time in your application. Okay, moreover, if there is a refusal, okay, on the basis that sponsor has withdrawn the sponsorship, okay, that you are not in a relationship, but there was a relationship. Okay, furthermore, AET, if James has lodged the AET, which is assessing authority, not assessing authority, I should say, it's a tribunal, administrative appeals tribunal, which will review the whole process that, okay, whether this person should have been granted the visa or not.
Yep.
Now, the sponsorship requirement is not at the time of lodgement, it's at the time of grant. Okay, so if the member can understand, okay, previously had lodged the visa application, it has been refused because sponsor, for some reason anyways, but now he's been into this continuous relationship with this particular person. Yes, there might be a chances member might get convinced, okay, and they might remit the application back to the department. let's take another example in your situation. Abhi, say for example, the question says, can he make another visa application? Okay. Yes, he can make a another visa application because Section 48 doesn't apply on this candidate. But because he's on a bridging visa, assuming he might have to meet a Schedule 3 requirement. So if a candidate is not on a substantive visa, okay, means he's not holding a substantive visa, but he's holding bridging visa, okay, A, B, C, or whatsoever. Then he has to satisfy the department that why he cannot lodge the visa outside Australia.
Right.
Okay. So in James' case, yes, he can, but he has to meet that compelling, compassionate. Was there any compelling, compassionate reasons? So we have seen during this pandemic, a lot of applications for partner visa were lodged, claiming that people were not able to leave Australia. Okay.
Right.
But people were not able to understand the situation that no one was stopping them to leave.
Correct.
It was all about entering Australia. Okay. So if you are that type of a candidate who has lodged the visa application while you were on a bridging visa, I'll probably say, immigration might have a question coming forward to you that why you ended up lodging a partner visa application while on a bridging visa. Okay. Because a pandemic, yes, there was something which was beyond your control, but the question here is, no one stopped you from leaving Australia. It was more or less if someone wants to enter Australia. So that can be another situation rising up in future for James if he's lodging a partner visa on bridging visa.
Okay. We've got another question, Mr. Singh, from Kim. He says, I'm an Australian citizen and I'm in a relationship with my partner since last 3 months, and she's currently on her graduate visa. She actually has a child from a previous relationship. So if I want to sponsor my partner, can I include the child as well or not?
Okay, I'll probably say there shouldn't be an issue. Because if the child is there, and the applicant has been in a relationship 3 months, the question here is, okay, forget the child first. Let's take a question that how strong is your relationship with that particular person? Okay, like you've been only here 3 months, you've been in a relationship with that person. Okay, how committed you are, how genuine and ongoing relationship we are looking forward into. So the candidate needs to satisfy all those kind of things. I'll probably say if the candidate is able to satisfy all those things, there shouldn't be an issue in regards to child. Moreover, we should also be aware that custody matters has to be taken into consideration. That who does have the custody of the child, whether is the partner or is the the partner's partner. So we have to assess that type of case as well.
Yeah.
Looking forward. But yeah, 3 months is very short sort of duration.
Yeah.
When we are assessing the applications, in advising client whether we're gonna meet that kind of definition or not.
So yeah, hopefully that answers your question, Mr. Kim. We've got another question. It says from Mr. Zaid, I'm from Pakistan and I recently got my permanent residency via Surplus 190 visa. I went to Pakistan and got married with my partner. Will it be a good idea to first lodge a visitor visa and then convert it to partner visa, or should I straight away go for partner visa application?
All right. This question, Abhi, has been, asked us like numerous sort of times. When people are here, permanent residents or they are Australian citizens, they are looking forward that whether we should include visa applications for partner visa or whether we should lodge applications for visitor visa. Okay. Now, what was the name of the applicant?
Zaid.
Zaid should understand that Zaid, partner visa and visitor visa are two different applications. Okay. So you need to understand the criteria of both the applications first. Okay. When it comes to, let's say, for example, visitor visa is not more about, what person has got intentions of coming here. The assessing officer will see that why the person will go back. Okay. So in some cases, the case officer will see, okay, this person has got a permanent resident partner, giving them a visitor visa is itself a question, because they might they might end up lodging a partner visa onshore. Yes, in some cases it happens. Okay, but again, to meet the criteria of visitor visa first, there's a genuine temporary entrant criteria, that you do not have intentions to remain, permanently in Australia. Your only intentions to remain in Australia as temporary visit. Okay, so if the case officer is satisfied that your reason here is to just for a temporary visit, yes, you can go ahead with the visitor visa. Okay, if in your case your reasons are that, okay, we're gonna go for permanent visit, they may end up refusing the visa. Okay, so let's take an example that, okay, if there's a candidate, say for example, there's a girl back in Pakistan who has got assets under her name, who has got full-time employment, okay, who has got family members back home, okay, and can show strong commitment that she has to remain in Pakistan. Yes, the chances are good for her, because she can show all those type of commitments that, and even generally that visit might be temporary. Okay, but on the other hand, let's take an example. We have got this girl, okay, she doesn't have any job. Okay, she left her studies 2 years back.
Right.
Okay, parents were looking for someone to get married, and now they are married. So let's understand, logically, that that particular candidate might have an issues when it comes to lodging a visitor visa applications. Okay, yes, you can lodge under sponsor visa applications. Zaib can sponsor the partner, but looking forward, the genuine way would be, in my case, that we lodge the partner visa first, which will be 3 or 9 leading to 100. And then, because the processing time period might take some time, department do understand that, and the minister might give them visitor visa to visit the family member. Yes.
We've got a question from Mr. Raj. He says, I'm an Australian citizen and my partner is currently in Australia on a visitor visa, but unfortunately she has got 8503 condition. Is it are we able to lodge a partner visa application while she is in Australia or not?
Okay. See, in that case, Abhi, how it happens is, Raj should understand that 8503 condition, no further stay, only allows some sort of visas, prescribed visas to be lodged while in Australia. Previously, during this pandemic, we were requesting a lot of waivers from the department, and department were giving us the waivers. But recently, since the borders have opened up, we have not seen many waivers getting approved. Okay, so Raj needs to understand that if your partner has got 8503 conditions, you might not be able to lodge a partner visa onshore. You need to understand that we can request for a waiver, but your reason must be that why you are requesting, are there any compelling, compassionate reasons that why a waiver should be given to the candidate. So in that case, once the waiver has been approved, okay, only then he will be able to lodge the visa. Okay, or else the application will be invalid.
Okay. I think, yeah, that's all the questions we've got. It was really nice discussing about de facto relationship with you, Mr. Singh. I'm hopeful that our audience had got the required information that they were after. So if you're looking to know more about visitor visa applications or partner visa applications for your partner, please do call us on 0399007272 and book an appointment with our registered migration agency in Clayton, and we'll be more than happy to assist you with that. Thank you.
Yeah, that's all from my side as well, guys. See you next time.